Okay, this is Katsuya forwarding a video about it's a video about is Ichigo a weak shonen character, and this is kind of a response to my friend James Hansen's video about is he a weak character discussion, that kind of thing. And I was talking to him in the comments, and I kind of want to make my own video and just tell you what I think about Ichigo and if he's a weak character and stuff like that. First things, I want a comparison of him to other anime/manga characters, like the other two of the big three, Naruto and Luffy. Now, Naruto, in his story, he's been training since he was a young kid at the academy. He's getting taught all this stuff, and the fact he's not very strong, like when he first becomes like a proper ninja, is because he's really bad at the training. He's not really a very good learner. But he gets training since he's a young boy, and then when it comes to the time skip as well, he gets 2 years of training on top of that to prepare his for what he's going to do. He got training to use a Rasengan. He got training by Jiraiya to use toad summonings, the walking on water kind of thing. He's training with him for 2 years. He got training by the toads to become a sage. He got training by B to use his Biju powers, and so he's had his whole life to train, and that's how he becomes such a powerful character from all this training and stuff. And he has the Nine Tails inside of him. It doesn't really hold him back as much. The Nine Tails more or less gives him more power for when he's in battles, and if he needs more energy, he always turns to the Nine Tails to give him more. So the Nine Tails doesn't really hold him back at all. So he's going full force, as you can see in the series. So he's a very strong character, but he's had so much time to train and prepare for everything, and he's always got backup from the Nine Tails to help him if he actually needs it. And no, Luffy, he's been training since he was a small boy when he first got his Devil Fruit abilities. He trained since he's a young kid to prepare, learning attacks he can do, some of his weaknesses, what's the best way to do things, that kind of stuff. He's been preparing for this adventure, so he's been getting stronger, tougher, learning to use his abilities, and seeing some of the limits he can get with some of them. Then there's also the time skip training with Rayleigh, which he had 2 years to train, get even stronger, and he set off the pirate when he was 17. So all the way through what we've done, he's also learning stuff as he's going along, but he never really trains until the 2-year time skip when he's 19 now. He's had so much training of new powerful abilities and everything. He's a really strong character, but he's had years and years to prepare for his adventure and training in the middle of it to fully control his powers. And then we got Ichigo, who finds out his powers at kind of a late time. He finds out his powers straight away. He doesn't get training to control it or anything. He just gets put straight in the position of Soul Reaper. What little training he gets from what I know of is he gets training from Urahara. He gets training from the Visors to use his hollow powers. So he has had really low training, and with Yoruichi when he learns his Bonkai. And he's already a powerful character when he goes to like the Soul Society. He's a very powerful character, and he can even compare to Kenpachi, a captain, without even using a Bonkai. So that means he's a very strong character indeed. And the fact that as soon as he learns his Bonkai, he gets a lot more stronger, but he only gets like small periods to train. From what I can remember of the training with Urahara, it's like he had like a week or so to train. Same with Yoruichi, I think it might have been like 4 days. And with the Visors, he trained for quite a while, which is fair enough. But he was also in the human world, where his powers are much weaker than they are in the Soul Society. So he's actually a very strong character, but he just doesn't get as much time to train as he likes. That most characters, like I said, Luffy or Naruto, got years to train. He gets small chunks of time to train. So when he has to go out to battle, he's had some training, but if he had that bit more, he could be even stronger. And because he puts up a good fight, like when he was in Soul Society, he went against Kenpachi and won. He fought Renji and won. He's had a lot of tough fights, and he still won all of them without having so much training. Even when he's got his hollow powers, he never really trained. He just went out and done his job because he was already at a strong, powerful level for when he started. so he only got a little bit of training every step of the way. So I'm up to where he's just defeated Green Jiao, and he's a lot. I think he's a bit stronger because he's in Waco Mundo, so he's stronger there than he is in the human world, and so he can hold his hollow powers a little bit more. But he still has had little training to prepare for this, and in the manga I started reading it back when he finds out about his mother and everything, and I know some of the stuff that happens in the story, but I know for a fact he's also got his hollow side holding him back before he learned how to control him or use his hollow powers. He had him holding him back during fights, and he had to spend a lot of his energies just holding the hollow back so he didn't take over his body and stuff. Like when the hollow would go out of control, Ichigo would use all the power he had just to stop him, and then after he does that, he's just too weak to carry on fighting basically. But in like the 4 days he had to train with Yoruichi to use his Bonkai, he put up a very tough fight against loads of high level Soul Reapers, and yeah, in just like 4 days, and that was just when he learned his Bonkai as well. So he's a very strong character. So yeah, and he got held back by his dad's spiritual pressure that was holding back the hollow inside of him, that kind of thing. So that wasn't completely his spirit pressure. So if he learned how to use his own spiritual pressure, because he'd probably have a lot more, he'd probably have a lot of energy just to use in a battle, and which means he could possibly be one of the strongest Shonen Jump characters there are, who's out there, with low training times and how strong the battles have been that he's been in. He's probably a really good fight, like in the human world when his powers were held back, he was in Bonkai, and he was wiping the floor with the Roncar 10, just not easily beating him, and if the hollow wasn't holding him back, he probably would have beaten him and killed him. And so he is a very strong character. If he had training periods like Luffy or Naruto, he could be a hell of a lot stronger than he ever was. But he's only had small time to train, so I think Ichigo is a powerful character. Not the powerfulest, but a very powerful character, and he's only seemed weak because of his low training times and what's been holding him back during his battles. But overall, I think Ichigo is a strong character, and yeah, so I've got to say on the subject. This is Katsukira4 saying thank you, thanks for watching, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. This is Katsukira4 saying goodbye, and stop hating on the bleach.